Yeah, playing the good stuff.
And we are here in Marbone Creek with Bradley Dameron, the mean streets of Marbone Creek, JJ Pruitt in Man, West Virginia, and I am here in Warfield, Kentucky, and you are watching another morning of the D&D Sports Network Morning Startup Show. Good morning, fellas.
Good morning to you as well.
Yeah, this one here, for once, we can't blame JJ for making us late, Bradley.
I was actually going to take the blame anyways.
Yeah, no, Bradley was slow getting on set today. So.
That was it. No, I tell you what, man, I love doing this morning show, but you know the problem with it is it's in the morning.
Well, I tell you, when I was younger, I used to be a morning person, and as I get older, I find out that I need more and more sleep. And and I don't get enough of it as it is. Like last night, I didn't get in bed at 2:00, and then my alarm didn't go off because the power went out, and it was 8:00 before. It's 7:55 before I actually woke up. So, with.
The thing is, like a lot of times after the morning show, you know what I do?
What?
Take a nap.
Well, guys, today is October 1st, so Halloween month, guys.
That's right. Halloween month.
Yep. So, JJ, you plan on going to any haunted houses?
I've always wanted to go to a legitimate haunted house, like not something that somebody put together, but a place that's supposed to really be haunted, like one of them paranormal activity places. But I haven't been to one just yet.
Go to Williamson.
Yeah, the old hospital.
The old hospital in College Hill, man.
I didn't even think about that. We do have a place that's close.
Yep.
I'm going to check that out this month.
I was born in that hospital.
Oh, wow.
Were you really?
Yeah.
Well, now we know why it's haunted.
There you go. One of my first memories of a child was in that hospital. I got put in one of them cribs that had the plastic around it for some reason, and I can remember being in it. But that was probably my first ever memory, I would think. One of them, anyways. But as we're sitting here, October 1st, JJ, what you got for us?
I've got a couple. There may have been one that I forgot to send you, but I'm pretty sure I did. But the first one, the year was 1949, and in Beijing, with most of the Chinese mainland held by Communist People's Liberation Army, its dynamic leader Mao Zedong proclaimed the establishment of the People's Republic of China, which I wouldn't imagine a lot of people here would find that interesting, but I think it's kind of cool.
Now, what was his name again?
His name was Mao Zedong, or Mao Zedong, Z-E-D-O, or Z-E-D-O-N-G, Mao Zedong.
I know. I just wanted to get you to repeat it.
Oh, you dirty dog. Well, I got another one. The year was 1961. When American baseball player Roger Maris hit his 61st home run of the season, breaking Babe Ruth's record, which what's interesting to me, Darryl, is I believe yesterday or this day in history was Babe Ruth hitting 60 home runs, correct?
Yeah.
So
back-to-back days.
Back-to-back record-breaking days.
Yeah.
And so my next one, the year was 1962, which I didn't send you this one, but I will bring it up.
No, you don't get any more. You just get what you got pictures for.
You dirty dog. Well, the year was 1975, and what was regarded by many as the greatest prize fight of all time, the Thriller in Manila. Muhammad Ali defeated Joe Frazier after the latter's corner called a halt to the bout after 14 brutal rounds. Now, this is interesting because I've heard of them talk about this fight, for many years, and, I think it's one of the best that I've ever seen because I watched it on like ESPN Classic. What do you guys think?
Go ahead. Sorry, Darryl.
Definitely one of the best fights I've ever seen.
Man, it is one of the best, and it was a nasty build. Like Ali built that up, and like he actually, I remember one of the press conferences, he started calling Joe Frazier the gorilla in Manila. And I remember one of the press conferences he held up by some toy gorilla or something. And said, "Come on, gorilla, we in Manila," and just started punching this gorilla in this press conference.
He was the perfect showman, man. I wish that we would have got to experience him, in our lifetime. But the closest thing we've had to him is probably Conor McGregor.
I would agree with that. And Conor McGregor actually has a nickname. Is it Mystic Mac?
I don't know. I ain't never heard him hear that.
Google it, but that's one of his nicknames because he was able to predict fights as well. Like there's I don't know if you remember the fight with Jose Aldo whenever he knocked him out. Well, like a day later, a clip surfaced and it showed the exact way that he knocked him out. Like he leaned back and faded with the exact same punch. Like he knew exactly what was going to come, and he knew that Jose was going to lunge at him a certain way, and he predicted it right down to the T.
The one big difference between McGregor and Ali is that after a while, McGregor was just became more talk than he was.
Yeah.
They was fight. Yeah. Ali was always all fight, man.
He'd
tell you how he's gonna beat you, then beat you.
That's Absolutely. It. Yeah.
Well, I've got one final moment in time, and this is a very dark one. The year was 2017, and from his hotel room in Las Vegas, 64-year-old gunman Stephen Paddock opened fire on a music festival, killing 58 people and wounding hundreds before taking his own life. It surpassed the Orlando shooting from 2016 as the deadliest mass shooting in modern U.S. history. Now, what's interesting about this is I was actually in Vegas a few months after this happened, and I always go for the World Series of Poker. And, I was down there for about 8 days. And when I'm down there, I'll clean my hotel room myself because I just don't want anybody in there. And after 3 days, somebody had a key and they were trying to unlock my door. And, I opened the door real quick and I was like, I'm in here. And they basically told me that they had a new rule that after 3 days, if you don't let a housekeeper inside of your hotel room, that they had to come in there and search it because of, what happened a couple of months prior to that.
Well, my question, Bradley, is what is JJ doing in his hotel that he don't want housekeepers in there? Are they Diddy parties going on, or what's going on there, JJ?
Man, what happens? You ever heard that term? What happens in Vegas stays in Vegas.
I have.
I'm just saying those World Series of Poker parties are probably pretty lit.
I haven't been invited to one yet.
You haven't been invited to one.
You gotta have jewelry, or you gotta have a bracelet to get in one.
Yeah. JJ's not been invited to the Phil Hellmuth party or anything. So
no,
not.
One day he'll be there.
Absolutely.
All right, guys. Well, also this day in history, 1945, heavyweight boxing champ Joe Louis is discharged from the U.S. Army after being awarded the Legion of Merit. So, 1946, Cleveland Indians pitcher Bob Feller claims his major league record 348 strikeout of season in a 4-1 win over Detroit. Record stands for 19 years before it's broken again. And let's see if we got anything else here. The Honeymooners, Jackie Gleason, The Honeymooners, debuts on CBS, 1955. Yeah, I can't remember or I wasn't alive when it first came on, but I remember watching many episodes when I was a kid.
Yeah, I watched a lot of episodes. Talk about a show that wouldn't be on today.
No.
Wow, right in the kisser. Yeah, that'll fly. So,
that was his famous saying.
Yeah, one of these days, Alice. One of these days.
Yeah. I still find myself a lot. I still find myself quite a bit watching Andy Griffith and Sanford and Son. I watch them are my two go-to shows.
Sanford and Son, especially for me, is fantastic. I think that's one of the better
I'm coming home. I'm having the big one.
Red Fox, just his timing.
I'm coming home, Elizabeth.
He's one of the funniest dudes I think who ever walked the planet.
Yep. 1962, James Meredith enrolls at the University of Mississippi, becoming its first black student, guarded by hundreds of federal troops after the Ole Miss riot. Also, 1962, Johnny Carson hosts the first Tonight Show.
Yeah, that was one of the ones I had that I forgot to send you the picture.
Yeah, Johnny Carson. So
that's a big one, man.
Mm-hmm.
I can remember Johnny Carson when I was a kid watching it a lot, and it also Minnie Pearl was on there all the time.
Well, and also Ed McMahon.
Yep.
Here's Johnny.
Now, 1962, the I Love Lucy show premieres. It started out as the Lucy Show with Lucilla Ball.
Oh, wow.
Yep.
That's a very good show.
It is. Pink Floyd, their first tour in 1967 on this day in history. 1967, Richard Petty continued phenomenal NASCAR winning streak by taking the Wilkes 400 of North Carolina Wilkesboro Speedway, unprecedented 10th consecutive victory. So
there's
a reason why they call him the king.
That's it.
There is, but there also wasn't a lot of regulation, and he had the best team, and it was just basically then who could build the best car, and his car was just so much faster than everyone else's.
You're 100% right. Now, 1974, computer scientist Gary Kildall presents the prototype of his CP/M operating system in his backyard tool shed. First commercially successful personal computer operating system. So, wow, how that changed the world.
Now I have a computer right here.
Yeah. 1974, he built the first one. So, also 1994, Watergate cover-up trial opens up. Let's see here. 1977, Pele's final game. Pele, widely known as what may be the best soccer player of all time.
I think he won 3 World Cups.
Could have been.
Yeah.
If he's not the best of all time, I think he's probably the most famous. That's probably
I think he's got the record for most World Cup victories as well.
This one right here, I know, interests JJ. Elton John, 1977, honored in the Hall of Fame.
Benny and the Jets.
Is that Benny and the Jets? Yep.
Yeah. That's a classic.
Let's see. 1982. It's also interests JJ. Marvin Gaye's famous song, Sexual Healing.
You got to get when you want to set the mood,
Is that your go-to?
Maybe a little Barry White.
Oh, there you go. JJ, your voice got a little Barry White in it.
That's one of my all-time favorites. Can't get enough of your love, baby. Yeah.
There you go. The 1988, Steffi Graf and Gabriel Sabatana. Let's see, both won tied in the women's single tennis gold medal round, which ended up going to extra sets. So, Steffi Graf, people don't realize how good she was back in the day. 1989, U.S. Army General Colin Powell. Colin Powell, at 52, becomes the youngest and first black chairman of the Joint Chiefs of Staff, the nation's highest military position.
Another Colin Powell. We mentioned him yesterday.
Yep. Yeah, I know we talked about him a little bit. Again, I believe we said anyone who doesn't really respect and admire Colin Powell. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
Yep. 1990, Saddam Hussein says he may be willing to negotiate the occupation of Kuwait and would consider foreign participation in negotiations. And also, the very next day, U.S. condemns invasion of Kuwait. George H.W. Bush says that Iraqis' takeover of Kuwait would send U.S. into war.
Those Bushes didn't mess around. I mean,
No, I'm a Bush fan. 1992, Ross Perot re-enters the U.S. presidential race. Then in 1993, Lennox Lewis, let's see, in his first title defense, Lennox Lewis beats fellow Londoner Frank Bruno by TKO in the 7th round. So that was 1993. Let's see if we got anything else here. 1998, Vladimir Putin becomes a permanent member of the Security Council of the Russian Federation. NHL 1999, Edmonton Oilers retire Wayne Gretzky's number 99 in a pregame ceremony in a matchup with the Rangers.
Well deserved. I mean, I think that his jersey is one of the first and possibly only ones to be retired throughout the entire league.
It's well deserved.
Mm-hmm.
The 1999, in a blockbuster NBA trade, the Houston Rockets move all-star forward Scottie Pippen to Portland Trailblazers for Kelvin Cato, Stacey Augmon, Walt Williams, Carlos Rogers, Ed Gray, and Brian Shaw.
Jesus.
So they moved their whole team for Pippen.
Mm-hmm. And it almost worked out in 2000. I mean, if it wouldn't have been for them blowing like a 17-point lead in the 4th quarter, they would have been back in the NBA Finals.
Yep. And 2004, Seattle Mariners Japanese outfielder Ichiro Suzuki gets his 258th hit of the season, breaking George Sisler's 84-year-old Major League Baseball single-season record. Ichiro ends season with 262.
And Ichiro, he was really good. Like, I think he might have the record for most hits between like professional baseball, not throughout the MLB, but like
that's not true. That's a myth. It's a myth because
I mean,
if you just say professional, you've got to take in the minors too because that's professional. If you do that, it's still Pete Rose, no matter however you cut it. I hate that whole Ichiro argument. I hate it so much because, he got a lot of hits and I don't think they would compare the Japanese league to Major League Baseball as far as being on the same level.
Right.
It's like saying that the XFL and NFL records should be combined. Anyway, that's my whole rant.
Hey, there you go.
Yeah, there you go. Bradley upset this morning.
Today. There you go. I like it.
Somebody peed in Bradley's Cheerios. So 2017, former NFL star O.J. Simpson is released from Nevada's Lovelock prison after less than 9 years of detention of his 33-year-old sentence for armed robbery and kidnapping.
I remember whenever that happened. I mean, that's whenever he swore up and down somebody stole his Heisman Trophy or something, and he tried to get it back.
Yeah, that's tough, man. After if I'm OJ, after I avoided the murder, I think I would have been squeaky clean from there on out.
Well, at least he can now rest easy that his wife's killer is no longer with us.
There you go. Yeah. The 2017 Stephen Paddock, JJ mentioned that, and let's see. And I think that is Duke and Duchess in 2019. Prince Harry, Duke and Duchess, Prince Harry and Meghan Duchess sued British newspaper The Mail on Sunday, claiming it published her private letter. So a lot of stuff going on with the royal family.
There's always something going on with them.
And that
they're the Kardashians for the world.
Yeah, there you go. JJ, what is your birthdays today?
So the first person we have is an individual named Zach Galifianakis. I Googled it to make sure I got the pronunciation correct. Have you ever seen The Hangover by any chance?
He starred in The Hangover.
He wasn't He was the little short. Yeah.
We know who Zach Galifianakis is.
We know who he is, man.
Okay, just making sure. Yeah. We got an individual by the name of Matt Cain. He played for the I don't know if he still plays for them, but he played for the New York Giants, and he actually threw a perfect game.
Oh wow! Okay.
Yeah, and then we have Mark McGuire.
Mark McGuire. Oh, there you
go. The big back. Yeah.
Listen, man. People, I still think those guys should be in the Hall of Fame.
I'm right there with you.
Steroid era. Anyway, go ahead though, man.
If they say baseball, I mean, I agree with you 110%. I mean, everybody that's complaining about all these sports writers, I mean, the reason these sports writers still have a job today is because they kept the league relevant.
Yeah.
I mean, look, it's not like that just the batters were juiced up either. You know,
no.
Too.
Yeah.
And last but not least, Jimmy Carter.
Jimmy Carter. President Jimmy Carter.
Yes, sir.
Happy birthday, Jimmy Carter.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I think most people don't consider him to be a great president, but man, what a great humanitarian in person he ended up being.
I think a lot of people liked him as the years began to pass.
Yeah, well, I mean, he's hard not to like. He's done so much to help a lot of people over the years. You know, I mean, the whole Habitat for Humanity and stuff like that. I mean, he's been a driving force behind that. I don't know what else you can say. You can't say a bad thing about him other than like maybe not the greatest president. Oh well, you know.
Happy birthday on the Book of Faces, Debbie Barnstar Allen. The happy birthday. Then we got Max Johnson, former Hazard Bulldog. Max Johnson, great. Happy birthday to him. Kristen Isaacs, former Martin County Cardinal, and current Alice Lloyd, basketball and volleyball player. Well, volleyball, I think she quit basketball. And then of Paintsville High School, John Walker Phelps. Happy birthday, guys. So got some good athletes in today's birthday. And guys, that's going to take us to our first commercial break. We'll be right back and we'll get into the show. Be right back here on the Startup Morning Show.
Bruce Walters Kia. By now, you know Kia is a great vehicle, and you know they come with a 10-year, 100,000-mile warranty. So why should you buy from Bruce Walters Kia? At Bruce Walters Kia, we're going to change your oil for free for life. And what you do with that money you save is up to you. Come check out the 2022 Kia Carnival and the 2021 Kia Sorento. Only at Bruce Walters Kia in Pikeville. Or shop us online at brucewalterskia.com.
Award-winning tire shop that focuses on customer service that's family-owned and family-operated. Stop by and see our friends Jeremy and Chasta at Punk's Tires. If you have a hectic work schedule and you're looking for a non-stressful, convenient way to buy tires, take advantage of Punk's Tires Appointment Saturdays. If they don't have the tire you're looking for, they guarantee it to have it the next day. Punk's Tires can take care of all your needs in tires, wheels, wheel alignments, brakes, rotors, minor mechanic work, and more. They'll treat you like family from the second you walk through the door. Come see us in Virgie, Kentucky, or give us a call at 606-639-TIRE. That's 606-639-TIRE. We are back here on the Startup Morning Show. JJ Pruitt, Bradley Dameron, and Darryl McCoy here, guys, as we are getting things going here. Been a big weekend as we continue, guys, with our football. Double quick player of the week. Want to hit that start the show off with a bang. Goes to Zach McCourt. Zach McCourt in Johnson Central's 42-14 demolition of Boyd County. McCourt carried the ball 16 times for 236 yards, 5 touchdowns. Also had 2-point conversion attempts. It's a second 200-yard game of the year. So hats off to Zach McCourt. And Zach McCourt quickly making his name as one of the best backs in the state of Kentucky, Bradley. He's starting to get some statewide recognition.
Yeah, I mean, it's week after week against great competition. Man, he's up there. He's one of the best. He's a bad dude.
He is.
He is a bad dude, and I think he's one of the big reasons that Johnson Central is going to be one of the front runners to bring home a state title this year.
I agree 100%. And whenever you take Johnson Central, I don't think that the state title's in their future. Sadly, I think that's all but wrapped up. I do not see anybody beating Boyle County.
That is a very tough mountain to climb.
Yeah,
one of the front runners. I didn't say the front runner.
Yeah, but one thing that they've got to do is, if they can beat Corbin this week, that could give them the momentum they need. And you never know. We played a game for a reason.
One game playoff scenario, things happen.
So when we sit here, guys, also want to give Mingy Beef Jerky players of the game. Alex Harris, 33 carries, 248 yards, 2 touchdowns in Prestonsburg's 39-32 victory over Betsy Lane. And Dalton Elliott carried the rock 20 times for 136 yards and 3 touchdowns. And Logan Stumbo, check this out, 15 tackles, 7 tackles for loss. So
he lived in the backfield, didn't he?
Listen, if you watch that game, go watch the first half of that game. It was every other play he was in the backfield blowing up plays. And but credit Betsy Lane in the second half, they come out and made great adjustments and slowed Stumbo down a lot. So that kid, he's another one of the kids that don't get the credit he deserves. So,
our offensive stars get a lot of the headlines, but man, those guys that are defensive stars sometimes need a little more love.
Absolutely, especially when you get 7 tackles for losses.
That's a big number. That's a real big number.
Mm-hmm.
I agree. And Bradley, did we see? I don't know if we've seen yet if they put them out, but I wonder how many tackles that Bones Lafferty and Hunter Hilton had. Has Joe Kinder sent you any of the work yet?
Not yet. Usually today's the day. We might be running a day behind just because a lot of the games were, a little late this week.
Yeah.
So, but not yet. But I can look online here. I'll look at Martin County first. Of course, my laptop.
I got it right here.
All right, well, I'll go look at Belfry then.
Belfry's ain't up.
Belfry's ain't up.
No, and Grayson Lafferty had 13 and 1 tackle for loss. So,
but still, every game double digits.
We'll see how the leaders. Well, it's sad when you look and say 13, and you're like, he just had 13.
You're doing pretty good whenever you see 13 go like, huh?
Yeah, that's it. Then Bradley, you can tell us about Talon Hopkins' big day.
Man, look at that. Yeah, I mean, those numbers almost speak for themselves, but I'll give you a little bit more. In East Ridge's 50-6 win over Jenkins, 5 carries for 231 yards and 3 touchdowns. If you do the math on that, that's 46.2 yards per carry. And yeah, that's pretty good. We'll just say that's above normal.
That's cooking.
That is cooking. And he's averaging 13.5 yards per carry this season. So the young man is really doing well. And then you also had Cole Ratliff with 13 carries for 123 yards and 2 touchdowns. And then Keaton Puckett also had 13 carries for 101 yards and 1 touchdown. But Mr. Hopkins there, he's a sophomore, so the future's looking bright for him over at Eastridge.
Yeah, definitely. And when Eastridge is one that they never get the credit they deserve, but whenever you take and look, they got Talon Hopkins, Keaton Puckett. They got some big time ballers there. Cole Ratliff having big games. So, hats off to the Eastridge Warriors. They needed that impressive victory. Might get them some momentum as they head into the latter part of the season. All right, Bradley, tell us about this young man.
That is Devin Maynard from Logan. Devin qualified for the West Virginia State golf tournament. Fantastic young athlete. We talk about him some during the basketball season, but he's also out here on the golf link, doing some big things. So congratulations to Devin on that.
Yeah, the Devin. Devin's a kid. I don't know, Bradley, if you've ever seen him play basketball, but he's quite the hooper.
Yeah, I've seen him play several times. As a matter of fact, when we had our D&D Mountain Showcase, whenever people were taking a halftime shot, or a half court shot for money there at that, when we were trying to do that. And some people were choosing kids and stuff, and I was sitting there up top with you all, and I saw him walk in the gym, and I looked over. I think it was at Thomas, with Thomas. I said, "That's the kid who I'd have take my shot."
Yeah, no, I agree. I couldn't imagine a better one.
Of the kids I saw in the gym who I knew at that moment, I was like, "That's the one."
No, they. And he's a kid, I expect a big year out of him this year. I know him and his dad's in the gym all the time, so definitely be interesting to see there. Now, guys, are you guys ready? We missed yesterday as we didn't do blind draws. JJ just didn't have time for it, so Bradley, we always have to keep an eye on OJJ over there.
Let's see what you got for me today.
How dare you, JJ, for wanting to go at 11 a.m.
Yeah, JJ, tell us who this young lady is.
Wait a minute. Who is this? Hold up. Now, this is, hold up. We talked about her last night.
Bradley.
Bradley. We talked about her yesterday because
we did talk about her yesterday.
Yeah, at the very end of the show. But she didn't have that jersey on. She had a different jersey on.
You know what? I'll give JJ credit. At least he recognized her.
Yeah.
There you go.
That is Leanne Jackson.
Yeah.
She's been making the big rounds here lately. We talked yesterday a little bit about Capital University in Columbus. She had a good visit there, and she's going to be one of the top players in our coverage area this year, Darryl.
Well, yesterday she picked up another offer last night from Center. So picks up another offer from Center College. So that's 2 offers in 2 days. And she's another one. Listen, the more she gets in front of colleges, the more offers she's going to get. She's that kind of talent. And, her big thing is she's had to play behind Kiara Thornsberry and Trinity Rowe. You play behind a Miss Basketball, you're not going to get much publicity. So this year here is a monster year for this young lady. And if she continues to develop, don't be surprised if you don't see maybe a low-level Division I program take a chance on her because of her size.
I can definitely see that. Yeah, don't be surprised at all. She's a heck of a player.
And, guys, yesterday, very sad day in sports as we lost 2 sporting legends. Let's start here with the Kimbe Mutombo dies of brain cancer. I never knew he even had brain cancer, but Mutombo, not just a great basketball player, but he was a great human being, guys. Tell us about him.
Well, one of my fondest memories of him, like off the basketball court, is whenever he opened that hospital in his country.
Yep.
Then that was something that he was really, really proud of, because he could finally help his people get, some proper health care.
I agree. That's probably his biggest accomplishment in life. I mean, even besides all the stuff on the basketball court.
Mm-hmm.
I tell you though, man, Mutombo on the basketball court though was a defensive menace.
It's no question. Like, you can say who's the best passer, who's the best scorer, but there's no question who the best shot blocker of all time is.
Absolutely, I agree with you. I mean, I know that he's second all time behind Akeem Olajuwon, but
it's not even.
When you think of block shots, you think of the man that would do that right there. No. Every time people block a shot.
And I love the story when he said the Jordan the story where Mutombo was talking about blocking him, he said Jordan never posterized him, and then Jordan comes out the very next game and posterizes him, and gives him the finger wag in his face. Mutombo just, and my fondest memories of him, I know he spent time with a lot of other teams, but he'll always be a Denver Nugget to me.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely.
Yeah, I think of him with the Nuggets. I think of him winning that, when they won that big playoff series. I believe it was when they upset the Sonics.
Mm-hmm. They were the first number 8 seed to ever win. Series.
And him just like grabbing the ball and
laying on the ground.
Yeah, laying on the ground. I'll never forget that.
Yeah, that was. I remember that plain as day. Watching that series as a kid, and that was, they had Muhammad Abdul Aruf on it. Do you remember his original name, Bradley?
Chris Jackson.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Played at LSU.
Do you know Isaiah Ryder's real name, JJ?
I mean, I always know him as J.R. Ryder.
Yeah, there you go.
Mm-hmm.
Who had the nickname Baby Jordan?
He played for the Miami Heat.
He did. I know who it is. I know the name.
Jesus! I can't remember his name, but I know he played for the Heat.
Bradley, tell him.
Harold Miner.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. There you go. So, guys, as that's going to take us to our commercial break, when we come back, we got some interesting topics to get into, and one that very interests JJ. So we'll come right back. Start the morning show.
Of Central America, head to Sal's Steakhouse. Sizzle your senses with mouthwatering steaks, juicy burgers, savory chicken, and fall-off-the-bone ribs. Sal's Steakhouse, where your taste buds will thank you. Unleash the flavor at Sal's. Taste tradition, taste the difference.
Now available at Kentucky Mountain Health Alliance Little Flower Dental Clinic. Same-day crowns. No more temporary impressions and wearing temporary crowns. Same-day crowns. Now available at Little Flower Dental Clinic. We also offer cleanings, fillings, extractions, root canals, and bridges. Call for an appointment today at 487-9505. We accept most major insurances, Medicare and Medicaid, and even a sliding fee scale. Little Flower Clinic, your medical home in the mountains.
We are back here on the Startup Morning Show, guys, and this segment is sponsored by our good friends at Tug Valley Wellness Clinic. Royal health is very important, and Tug Valley Wellness Clinic is the leader of it in the Mingo County, Lenoir area. So make sure you go see Tug Valley Wellness Clinic for all your medical needs. JJ Pruitt, Bradley Dameron here. As guys, it's come that time where blind draw. Are you ready, JJ?
Challenge accepted.
I am ready. We still have that one more death to talk about, though.
Oh yes, let's go to what in my mind will always be the GOAT of baseball, and Pete Rose dies. Guys, very sad day. This caught me off guard yesterday because I knew Matumbo from the show yesterday. Had passed away, but Pete Rose passing away. That's Charlie Hustler, guys. I remember, when I got into saving baseball cards, Pete Rose was always the card I wanted. I remember I traded like all my sets for a couple Pete Rose to my uncle. Just that's how bad I wanted Pete Rose cards. And, a man that played the game right. And, I don't know that people, will ever. I don't know that people today will ever know how great this man was and the intensity he played the game with. Sad day in the history of baseball yesterday.
Absolutely. When I think of Pete Rose, like one of the memories that I have, I mean, I didn't live to see it, but I saw the highlights. It was during an All-Star game whenever he slid into home plate and ended up breaking somebody's shoulder. Do you remember that, Darryl?
Yes, I
do.
do.
Over Ray Fosse. Yeah.
Yeah, Ray Fosse. Yep.
I have a story about that, but go ahead. Do your thing, JJ.
Oh, yeah. That just goes to show how intense he was. It didn't matter what kind of game it was. It didn't matter if it was a World Series game, a regular season game, scrimmage game, or an All-Star game. He was going to play the exact same way every single time.
One of my biggest memories in life, when I was younger, I interned with the Cincinnati Reds. And being an intern, a lot of times you do the less than glamorous work, So there for about like 2 weeks, they stuffed me in this, for lack of a better phrase, this closet with all this disorganized stuff, and like, go find some things, try to help us organize this. And so as I'm going through it, I come across in this box, unlabeled box, miscellaneous stuff, including an entire package of original team photo negatives, right?
Yeah.
The team's official photos, and they'd lost these negatives. They didn't know where these things were. Someone once upon a time just shoved them in this closet and left them. In there was the team's original photo negatives of that All-Star game and the collision at home plate and all that. That's what I came across.
Oh, wow.
Wow. Well, too bad you didn't keep any of them.
Yeah. I kind of was. They probably wouldn't have been pretty angry with me for that, but I was also like, oh, look what I found. This is neat. Instead of thinking like, that probably would be worth some money. They would never know. They didn't know where they were, but nah, I did the right thing with them. But I remember coming across those, and I remember like, oh, these are photo negatives, and kind of looking, and then like I got kind of handed them, and then later they told me like, you know what that was? And I was like,
yeah. Oh. Well, the Bradley, definitely a big day. I didn't. So Bradley, you wrote for the Reds?
I interned with them. I was in their communications office when I was in college in 2001. I was in there, so I was around that office a bit, and I used to pass like the hardware, the trophies, every day. Shoot, like I knew, I don't know if you remember John Allen and stuff and all that. I spoke to him every day. He was the COO of the team.
Yeah.
But I mean, we were around some people. I was around some of the players here and there. A lot of the former players would swing by, and the broadcasters and stuff. My second day on my second or third day on job, somewhere in that first week, I was carrying a bunch of boxes down the hallway, and Marty Brenneman stepped out in front of me and almost knocked him over. And I'm pretty sure that would have been the end of my internship if I'd ran over Marty. But
it probably would have, Bradley. You probably wouldn't have had another. You probably wouldn't have had another shot at it.
Oh man, he's a very small dude. So when he stepped out, I didn't even see him at first, and I had all these boxes like this, and the man steps out, and I'm like, and he walked by, and he actually just kind of laughed and did the whole pat on the shoulders. He walked on by,
Yeah.
And I'm like, oh my God, I almost killed Marty.
That definitely wouldn't have been a good day in history. But Pete Rose, guys, listen, I hope to goodness right now that they do not. I really hope that they don't put him in the Hall of Fame now. Because I know one thing he always said is if they wait until he's dead, he don't want in there.
I don't think they will. I know a lot of people are saying they'll do that now, but they didn't do it with Joe Jackson.
Yeah,
Joe Jackson,
Shoeless Joe. Yeah,
still not in the Hall of Fame.
But I don't know. I mean, listen, the man deserved to be there, and that's one of the biggest travesties that baseball never put Pete in the Hall of Fame.
I get that it's not good to be betting on baseball, but at the same time, I don't know. I truly feel like, and there's going to be no way to ever prove this, but I really feel like that Bart Giamatti kind of had in his head to like punish Pete for a bit and then let him in. But then, he died of a heart attack 8 days after, literally 8 days after announcing.
Well, and I think everybody thought that he was dead against Pete, too. So, a lot of them kept him out because of, the respect for Bart. So
I really think just based on how some people thought now, but of course now Faye Vincent wasn't one of those. He was the next commissioner, and he was definitely anti-Pete. Listen, I get it. Pete Rose may not have been the greatest person who ever walked the planet, but he was one of the best baseball players who ever lived.
No, I agree with you. Listen, if I promise you this, if you ask me to pay my hard-earned money, go watch a baseball player in history, it would start with Pete Rose.
It's just unfathomable to me.
It would be Pete. Well, I'll take that back. Pete Rose would be my second. My first would be Barry Bonds.
I've seen Barry Bonds. I've seen Barry Bonds hit a game-winning homer. I mean,
oh wow, okay, there you go.
I used to joke around that every time I got to go watch a game, it seemed like Barry Bonds was involved there for a few years. But
JJ, he's telling me the other day he watched Roberto Clemente play.
Oh, come on, man. That was on the ESPN Classic I did.
I saw both skinny Bonds and swollen up Bonds, So.
Guys, Dennis Lafferty says, good morning. We was talking about Bones Lafferty earlier, Dennis. And then Jeremy Pitson says, checking in, fellas. Well, guys, make sure you check in with Punk's Tires. Don't be a punk. Get your tires from Jeremy and Shasta. Tell us about them, JJ.
Hands down, the best tire man in the business, the best staff in the business as well. And the one thing that stands out to me the most about them is whenever you do go down there to get your tires worked on, not only will they work with you and set you up the perfect appointment, but you can also watch the morning startup show.
There you go.
Your stuff fixed.
I'm just waiting. I'm still waiting for my D&D Sports Network racing driver suit,
Oh.
The sponsor logos everywhere.
Is that what you want us to get you one?
Get me one. Have all the logos. We'll look like NASCAR drivers, man.
There you go. That's what we need to do. Definitely take advantage of it. All right, guys, here we go. Blind draw. JJ,
let's see what we got. Let's see. Is that
interstate?
Okay. Okay, I see it now. Yes.
Atlanta as residents evacuate due to chemical plant fire.
So some residents east of Atlanta were evacuated while others were told to shelter in place Sunday to avoid contaminants from a chemical plant fire that sent a massive plume of dark smoke high into the sky that could be seen from 20 miles away. Interstate 20 was shut down in both directions in the area. The Georgia Department of Transportation said in a post on X, reporters said traffic was snarled as vehicles backed up in the area after the closure. And it also says the fire ignited when a sprinkler head malfunctioned around 5 o'clock in the morning Sunday at the Biolab plant in Conyers, Rockdale County Fire Chief Mary McDaniel told reporters. Now, this is scary to me, Darryl, because every time I see stories like this, I immediately think of the Charleston chemical plant. And
Yeah.
and I think about what it would be like if something tragic like that happened, to us.
Let me ask you this: what do you think the biggest disaster in our lifetime in our area is?
In our areas in West Virginia?
Yeah. Bradley, would it be the 77 flood?
I was going to say the 77 flood is the only one I could think of.
It wouldn't be in my lifetime, but a lot of people's lifetime, probably the 77 flood.
Yeah.
I was born the following year, but I
would say that's one of the most talked about in the last maybe 50 years. I mean,
I think it probably had the biggest impact.
Yeah.
And I tell you though, man, we've had a lot of floods in this area. I'm trying to think if there was.
The 2012 tornadoes were really bad. Do you remember that?
You got Salyersville?
Well, not just Salyersville, but like it came over through here. Like it went through. It even went through like Beauty and stuff, and it wrecked some homes over there.
Was it 2012 when Salyersville got hit though?
I can't remember. It might have been. It might have been. I just remember it was 2012 because I was at a basketball game in Logan that night. It was a sectional championship game at the Logan Fieldhouse, and the only thing we heard out there, like the Fieldhouse, the lights flickered off and on a couple times before the game. But then we didn't notice anything, and we didn't realize that the apocalypse was happening outside everywhere else.
Well, I know the floods that we had, it didn't reach, as much in Pike and Mingo County, but, Floyd, Magoffin, a lot of counties, Knott, Perry, the floods that we had there just a couple of years ago that flooded Pippa Passes and all of them. That's probably in recent history, probably the toughest one I've seen. Now, I wasn't here. I moved to North Carolina when the floods that flooded the Belfry area back in probably 05, somewhere around there. JJ, do you remember that? That's probably when you was in school.
The last flood that I remember was probably maybe 2009 or 2010. There was another one that was really bad. Because I remember I had to stay in Williamson for like 2 or 3 days at the Days Inn Hotel. This is the one next to Walmart. I had to stay there for like 2 or 3 days because you couldn't go anywhere.
Yeah, it was tough. I remember it had the 4-lane blocked right there at Belfry. You could not get through Belfry, and trying to think whenever I left, I think that was 03 or 05, maybe one of the two, and it was somewhere between 03 and 05 whenever that flood hit. Somebody, if you're tuning in and please let us know in the comment section below.
And I just looked it up, Darryl. It was 2012, so it was a part of those tornadoes too. The one in Salyersville.
Yeah, it wiped Salyersville completely out. And Salyersville, listen, sometimes you wonder why things happen, and I know never a good thing when stuff like that happens, but Salyersville has rebuilt and got a lot of new stuff because of that, and it's really neat to see how that town has come back. So let's see what else we got here, JJ.
Here we go.
New York greenlights rat birth control to curb city's infestation.
I thought this was just a crazy one. I mean, it says New York's seemingly eternal battle against its rodent population has taken a new twist after the city council approved pilot schemes to deploy rat contraceptives in a new effort to curb their booming population. The Thursday night vote means that in the next few months, pilot programs will begin using Contrapest, the type of rodent birth control that will be put in special containers aimed at encouraging the rats to ingest it. During such monthly inspections of the pilot program areas, the department shall track the amount of rat contraceptive in each rat contraceptive dispenser, the local bill said. Now, I mean, At this point, I mean, is it a bad idea, Darryl? I mean, what do you think?
No, I mean, I like it. Listen, at the end of the day, Bradley, if you less rats, then that's less problems. And I don't know if you've ever been to New York, but them things walk around and they're bigger than our house cats that we got here.
Yeah, listen, I mean, this sounds like a really good idea. It's just kind of wild. That's where we are as a society now. We're sterilizing rats. But,
yeah.
But it does sound like a good idea. I mean,
New York is the perfect place to have it because these rats have overrun everything. And it's to the point where they can't even leave garbage out. Because of that, and it's a huge problem in New York. So I understand them taking drastic measures to try to make sure that this is fixed, because this is a situation that has really destroyed the infrastructure too. I read an article where millions of dollars that they spend every year trying to repair stuff that rats have tore up.
What if they spend a few $1 million on some decon?
Well,
there you go. The some Eagle 7, right?
Yeah.
I'll tell you, New York has the second worst rat problem in the country, man. And next to DC, but those rats make decisions for our country. But anyway, that's my commentary.
There you go. Hey. Bradley with the one-liners.
That was a sneak dish.
Yeah. There you go.
You can tell how much I love our decision makers.
Yeah. They definitely. Let's see what else we got here.
Let's see.
JJ. AP Top 25. I'll tell you what. Let's talk about that in a second.
Okay.
Let's put that one on the burner.
Yeah.
Okay. Helene, flooding strands hundreds of North Carolina residents as storms death tolls reaches 95. Guys, this right here, people does not understand the devastation that's going on right now in North Carolina. I mean, these people are stranded. Roads are washed out. Bridges are washed out. And hats off, we got a few local people. Billy Davis, one of our contributors here on the Startup Morning Show. Billy Davis has took and got a group of firefighters together from Kermit, and they're going down there. And Tug Valley High School's Austin Smith has put together a thing where they're rallying supplies and stuff, and they're going to haul them down there to the people that's flooded right now. JJ, just a tough situation.
That was awesome. I mean, and I'm looking at this article, and it says at least 95 dead across, 6 states. Deaths have been reported in South Carolina, Georgia, Florida, North Carolina, Virginia, and Tennessee. And at least 36 people are dead in North Carolina, according to, county and state officials, and 25 are dead in South Carolina, including 2 firefighters. I mean, it's just sad all around. I mean, it's been brutal.
I mean, that's the thing, I know there were some people around here in other parts. I saw a college I used to work for, some of their fans get aggravated about like football games and stuff being canceled and stuff. And boy, we love our games here. I mean, we're a sports network, so we love our games, but this type of stuff, it puts a lot of that in perspective. Like what's a game compared to human life,
That's it. At the end of the day, JJ disappeared on us here.
I'm back. Can you hear me?
Yeah.
Somebody called the text now number.
Well, do they have any questions?
I didn't answer. I mean, I wasn't sure if it was. I can call the number back if you want me to. It didn't.
What was the number, JJ?
It was like an 859 number.
And that's Alexa's number. So 606-230-8911. JJ, you can give them a call if you want.
Okay, I'll call them and let you know who it is.
All right, Bradley. All right. But as we're talking, hats off to the folks that are going down there and helping. I that's something I wish that I had the time to do right now, because people like that. That in these times, people don't understand how much it means to see people come in from out of areas to help them. I know when we had them floods, seeing all them people come in from Western Kentucky, come out, bring supplies. I mean, it just gives you a little bit of warmth and, makes you feel like somebody's got your back.
Yeah. And, in those situations, you need people to have your back. What I think a lot of people don't take into account is that it doesn't just wipe out things. It wipes out your infrastructure, or wipes out your way to actually build back. So you need that little help to get started on the road.
Yeah. Does 100%. So JJ, anything?
It was a spam call, unfortunately. We're still waiting on our second caller ever.
There you go. Guys, we're going to take a quick commercial break. We'll be right back here with more on the Startup Morning Show as we're getting to what may be the most interesting topic of the day coming up here in just a moment. We'll be right back here after a quick word from our sponsors.
In America, what does that mean? It means jobs. It means craftsmanship. And when it comes to Vaughan Bassett furniture, it means value. And Kemper recognizes that. That's why they've dedicated an entire gallery to Vaughan Bassett. Made in America. See the quality. And now, see the price. Come see your favorite Kemper store in Hazard, London, or Somerset.
Are now available at Kentucky Mountain Health Alliance Little Flower Dental Clinic. Same day crowns. No more temporary impressions and wearing temporary crowns. Same day crowns. Now available at Little Flower Dental Clinic. We also offer cleanings, fillings, extractions, root canals, and bridges. Call for an appointment today at 487-9505. We accept most major insurances, Medicare and Medicaid, and even a sliding fee scale. Little Flower Clinic, your medical home in the mountains.
And we are back here on the Startup Morning Show, guys. Make sure you get them comments, questions in the comment section beside this segment, guys. Is sponsored by one of our newest sponsors on the show. We want to give a big shout out to Team Moore. Make sure you go to Moore's in West End. Guys, a lot of people, make sure that, people remember Moore's is still here. They're still kicking and they're still on top of things, Bradley, as they're very vital to the success of the Williamson area. Make sure if you're going to buy a vehicle, they got a great sales crew, got a great staff there, and listen, their service department is second to none. So make sure you visit Team Moore for all your vehicular needs.
Absolutely. And another patch for my NASCAR suit.
There you go, Team Moore. That one looks good too. That's one of our better logos.
That's a good logo. We have some good logos. I think like garage and auto type businesses and stuff, they just naturally produce, a lot of them produce really great logos.
I agree. Punk's Tires is one of the
Punk's Tires is a really good one.
Yeah. So guys, as before we get in to our next blind draw, let's take a look at some of the top plays from the weekend. Y'all want to see some good plays, and a couple of these are courtesy of WYMT. Let's check this out.
Quarterback sneak, he's in there.
And let's see.
He's in there.
And that's not the one that we need to look at. As I'm trying to get it up here, but the guys, you looked at some of the top plays this weekend. I know one of the ones that we'll show on Crunch Time is the one that was at JJ's game, Austin Sperry. People still are ranting and raving about his performance the other night. I think now he is only, last I seen, 70 yards away from the all-time receiving record at Breathitt County.
He's unbelievable.
Yeah, and then Then over, let me ask you this, Bradley. Do you happen to know who the all-time rusher is at Tug Valley?
Probably Austin Vance. I don't know. Listen, there were some years where records were not kept well with Tug Valley football.
I don't know. In recent history, I'm trying to think. Recent history, I would probably say maybe Jonathan Blankenship.
John might be up there. I know Austin Vance had some couple really big years. Shoot, as far as it goes, like it's kind of weird, It's kind of weird. I sit back and think. I think Bryson Eli's catching up on all of it.
Yeah, when it's all said and done, he may be the clear number one. But guys, let's take a look. Speaking of Tug Valley, some of the top plays from the weekend.
Number 2, Pikeville quarterback Isaac Duty escapes not one but 2 sack attempts from GRC, flips the ball to Blake Cottle, who charges into the end zone for the touchdown.
He's gonna throw it. Got a man speaking. Oh, he catches it! Oh my goodness, he's gonna go!
And finally, at number 1 on the opening kickoff between Perry Central and Martin County at the 17-yard line, Cardinal Devin Maynard on the return finds a crack and books it down the sideline. Nobody can catch him, and he gets some distance.
When you sit there, Devin Maynard, just a freak of nature, but courtesy WYMT with some great video there of a couple of them highlights. But we had some big time plays. People don't realize right now how many great football players are in the mountains. We've had a lot in the past, but when you talk, the one thing I think we're short on might be linemen right now, but skill position, we got as many great skill positions we've ever had in the mountains.
I agree, and and watching the plays there, of course, the returns are always great and exciting. I think watching the 2 quarterbacks there, both showing the ability to throw on the run and improvise and make something happen. You had Preston May, Tug Valley on the first one, and you had Isaac Duty, on the second play there.
No, that wasn't Isaac Duty. That's what I was about ready to bring up. Isaac Duty, from the looks of things, from what I've seen, now I didn't get to watch that game because I was out of town at the KY Elite camp, but that game there, Bradley, Isaac Duty was 0 for 1, and it sounds like he might have got hurt on the first play because he was 0 for 1. Wait. Okay, now they got it. They had it backwards yesterday. No, it's correct. It was Isaac Duty. Blake Cottle yesterday, they had him as the quarterback on top. So KHSAA had it backwards yesterday. But you're correct. Isaac Duty, 274 yards, 4 touchdowns, Bradley.
I liked his especially because of just the way he was able just to flick it out,
Yeah.
Get rid of it. So I like watching I like watching players make versatile plays where it's not just.
Well, he was that old Belfry offense back in the early 2000s because that was Paul Jr. was one of the best at running the option with that little flick.
It's a great job there, and really though, I think we have some great skill position guys right now. I agree with you. We, there are some guys who are so good, who are really good skill position players that sometimes get overlooked because we have so many really good skill position players.
Yeah, and one thing that I want to get clarification on, I know Chase Varney was out this weekend. Has anybody heard anything on the injury with him?
The only thing I've seen was that as a precaution, and it everything I've seen like makes it sound like he's okay. I don't know if that precaution is going to lead into like another week or something, but
Yeah.
but I don't think it's going to be anything that lingers.
Let's see. Do we know who Belfry has? They got Lawrence County, so I wouldn't imagine that they're going to set him against Lawrence County if he can play. And then they got Estill County, a dangerous Estill County team. Then Powell County, and Powell County was added to the district this year. And then Letcher Central, they close at home. Those are games. The thing about that, Bradley, is every one of them games could be dangerous. Normally Belfry would just, you knew they had a few blowouts, ahead of them in district play. And, there's a certain point where you would just check out and wait for the playoffs. Now, when you look, Lawrence County, Estill County, Letcher Central, all could beat Belfry. If Belfry don't, play their A game. And then Powell County, we've seen them put up some big points here lately with the Skidmore kid.
Yeah, Powell County's picked up a couple of good wins this year, I think.
Yeah, I agree 100%. So be interesting to see there. Right now, if you had the short list, JJ, player of the year in the mountains, who would you give it to?
Jesus. From West Virginia and Kentucky?
Yeah.
Oh, man. I'll tell you what, the quarterback from West Side's putting up good numbers.
Okay, Caden Vance. That's JJ's pick. Bradley,
Man.
Who would you?
I mean, Caden Vance is on the short list. I think I'm going with Andrew McCutcheon. Betsy Wayne.
That's a good one, man. That's a good one. He's breaking school records left and right. God, I don't think you could. I don't think you could go wrong at all if you went Andrew McCutcheon or Caden Vance.
I don't think you can either.
Both of them. Would be. I'm trying to think here. I tell you who I would go with is maybe Max Pelfrey.
That's a real good one too.
Putting
up some huge numbers at Hazard.
Yeah, he's putting up some monster numbers. So those are. It's interesting. We all got. All of us have three different ones as well.
And all three are legit too.
Yeah. No, actually, I don't know if I'd go Max Pelfrey or if I would go Tyson Salmons.
Oh, yeah, man. I forgot about Salmons there. He's put up some huge numbers too.
We should put up like a top 5 list or a top 10 list, and maybe we can get some people in the comment section tomorrow to give us their opinion on who they think could be.
We may do that, JJ. JJ, every now and then does have a good idea.
That's actually not a bad idea. I tell you, I mean, like, and even though I said Andrew McCutcheon, either of those players you all mentioned,
yeah.
If someone told me like that's our player of the year, I wouldn't argue.
No, I think when you go, I think coming into this year, I would have probably said Brendan Anthony for Pikeville would have been who I thought would have been player of the year. But, he's, being hampered with injuries, not had quite the season that everybody thought he was going to have. And, I still think he's one of the best pound-for-pound football players that we got in the mountains. But when you sit and talk player of the year, I think we just named the list. I think it's Caden Vance. I think it is Caden Vance, Andrew McCutcheon, Tyson Salmons, and Max Pelfrey would be the short list. And if you wanted to go with because they're winning, you could make a case for Zach McCourt.
What if we did like a West Virginia and Kentucky one? Like, because
that takes away from the specialness of what we do here, JJ.
Fair enough.
That's why D&D is different, because our coverage area, you get West Virginia versus Kentucky.
Fair enough.
But it is.
I tell you another guy, and probably one of our top 5.
Who?
Carson Breniger.
Yeah. Well,
it's because he does a little bit of everything. So he doesn't have that one issue where he stands out, but offensively and defensively, he's also one of the better defensive backs and stuff we have. I mean,
if we could get their stats,
we do. We do. I see them to Joe.
Oh, do you got them now?
I got them. I got them. Yeah, we're good to go now.
So I can't wait to see that then with them. And here's the other thing is we don't even know. They've been blowing people out so much. If Robert Evans could ever get a full game in, I'm sure he would put some numbers up that would blow people's minds.
Unreal. Robert Evans, I mean, I'm sure Tulsa would put some big numbers. I've told you before, I think Tulsa is going to be, is looking like a playoff team more and more every week.
Yeah. I'm stoked to see Friday night, what happens there. But but let's see here. So let's go back to our blind draw, JJ. You ready?
Yes, sir.
All right. What may be one of the most interesting topics of the day? Diddy accuses attorneys says high-profile person seen with mogul in pornographic video, JJ.
Now, this is interesting. It says a lawyer for Sean Diddy Combs' accuser claims that she has been contacted about the sale of one of the Diddy tapes, specifically a video featuring the embattled hip-hop mogul indicted last week on a federal sex trafficking and racketeering charge, and someone more high-profile than the rapper and the Bad Boy founder. It says there have already been tapes leaking around Hollywood being shopped around, but one particular person contacted me to shop a particular video they were in possession of, and to contact the person who was in the video to see if they were interested in purchasing the video before it became public knowledge. Now, that's interesting to me because, I mean, I don't see this video, seeing the light of day. I mean, if it's got somebody that's more powerful than him in it, I think they mentioned, like, on Celebrity Net Worth that his net worth was like $700 million at one point. So if you got somebody of a higher power than him, then they're going to have the money to be able to bury this.
Well, last I seen was 596
million,
or no, it was 1.6 billion is the last one I see. I seen a video yesterday that went year by year, and 2024 it was 1.6 billion.
Yeah, if there's somebody out there that's more powerful than him that's in the video, then it's not going to see the light of day.
My question is, I mean, my whole morbid curiosity is, who's been partying with Diddy, right? Like who?
I think the main question is who hasn't.
Well, did you see where Dwight Howard said that? Remarked something about forget world hunger. He regrets missing out on more Diddy parties. And
now there's been a lot of stuff come out about him over the years.
That's it, and I guarantee you he would like the Diddy parties. And but when you sit there and from that article right there, high profile guys, the first names that pop to my mind is you're hearing a lot about Jay-Z and Beyonce. I guess nowadays you would say they're more high profile than Diddy. Maybe not all time, but then but the first name that pops to my mind is LeBron James.
Well, I mean, he did mention in one of his Facebooks with Diddy that there's no party like a Diddy party. So, I mean, that'd be interesting if he was in a part of one of them.
Oh my goodness!
It's already said, that it's already come out that LeBron was part of some of the freak offs, and and when you sit there and look at that list, and surprise, surprise, what I tell you when this first come out, whose name would pop up on that list? Kamala Harris.
Mm-hmm.
So go ahead.
Oh yeah, I'm just saying, like, this is. I guarantee you, like, right before, like, the election's what, November, usually the first week in November.
Yeah.
Oh, there will be a bombshell dropped about this. They'll have 2 or 3 more big time names that are listed, and it'll come out just to distract us.
Just so you know why Kamala Harris is attending Diddy parties, this is what Donald Trump is doing.
Oh.
He is saving people out of the floods in North Carolina. So, which one do you want leading America?
Do you honestly believe he was saving people?
Yeah, I absolutely. I believe that they was a guy stranded, and I think that he went out and might have got him out of his car.
Okay, we'll go with it.
Yeah,
I mean that I'm just going to say that picture looks very AI-ish.
Yeah, he looks awful young in this photo.
I don't know, man. That I'm not even saying anything against Donald Trump here. I'm just saying I don't know if I believe that picture.
Well, the background is very blurry, but I tell you though, it does look like a 1980s picture. When you look at the hat and you look at the clothes they're wearing, anyways, listen, I'm not taking anything from him. Listen, hey, as long as he ain't at a Diddy party, I'm good with it.
I mean, it's not 1984 anymore, so.
Yeah, there you go. So, but when you sit here and look though, that's scary because the names that's coming out, and then there's videos coming out that there's still videos where Dr. Dre's house got robbed that time, his safe got robbed, and there's some sex tapes out there. They said that Diddy recorded everything, and said that how he got Bad Boy is there's reports that Clive Davis was doing the same thing, grooming him like he did Bieber and all them. So said, and Diddy was smart enough to record that. So be interesting, guys. I tell you, if you ever get a chance, go follow Jaguar White on Twitter.
Absolutely.
So tough situation there, guys. Diddy? Let me ask you this: a year and a half from now, will Diddy be alive?
Depends on. I would say it depends on how much stuff comes out within the next 2 or 3 months. If names start slowly leaking, then maybe you might see something crazy happen. I'm not sure. I think it'll just depend on how much he starts talking.
What about you, Bradley? Year and a half, is Diddy alive?
No.
I don't think so either.
I think something will happen.
And I hate it. I'm not saying that. I think that he will be. I don't know whether he'll be alive technically or not, but he won't be in existence anymore. You can bet that.
I feel it's more like, listen, when you hear of a high profile person like that, most of the time they don't tend to last long in prison, and that's sad because, I mean, R. Kelly's still still going, so maybe there's hope for Diddy. But
well, well, look, Kodak Black come to Martin County, spent some years, and now he's a free man. So
I'm honestly I'm hoping that he's still living after a couple years. Although I'm not really don't know if I want to say I'm rooting for Diddy.
We don't wish tragedy on anybody. Is what I think.
Exactly. I don't wish anything on anyone, but
yeah, I don't either.
Jeffrey Epstein.
I get Epstein vibes. I do. I get Epstein vibes here, and maybe it's because we did see that, and there's still some questions with that. But I'm hoping that we don't go down that same type of road. I'll just say that.
Especially here's where the danger is going to come in. A lot of people are going to be embarrassed, with the freak off parties and all that, that's coming out. That's embarrassing. But where the dangerous stuff's going to come out is whenever the sex trafficking stuff comes out and, who was involved. And, I know there's some big reports about J-Lo now being thrown in there, and be interesting to see what all comes. It's all being alleged right now, so none of this is true, and I hope none of it comes out. Or I hope none of it ends up being true. But at the end of the day, normally where there's this much smoke, there's fire.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, like I don't know if everyone's done all the stuff that people have whispered about, but you get to the point where you go like, there's probably some of it that's true, right? Like,
I agree.
Some of it somewhere. Now, what we know or find out, we may never get the whole story, man.
Be interesting to see the Kamala Harris. By the time election comes around, how much will come out about that. That will be the interesting thing to me. But we're going to take a quick break. We'll be right back here for the final segment on the Startup Morning Show. JJ Pruitt, Bradley Dameron, and Darryl McCoy here. We'll be right back.
From Bruce Walters Kia. By now, you know Kia is a great vehicle, and you know they come with a 10-year, 100,000-mile warranty. So why should you buy from Bruce Walters Kia? At Bruce Walters Kia, we're going to change your oil for free for life. And what you do with that money you save is up to you. Come check out the 2022 Kia Carnival and the 2021 Kia Sorento. Only at Bruce Walters Kia in Pikeville. Or shop us online at brucewalterskia.com.
Wear a lot of hats. There are coaches, volunteers, church members, neighbors, someone who's there when you need them, especially when you need them most. That may be a lot of hats, but they're all the perfect fit. Kentucky Farm Bureau, big on commitment.
Award-winning tire shop that focuses on customer service that's family-owned and family-operated. Stop by and see our friends Jeremy and Chasta at Punk's Tires. If you have a hectic work schedule and you're looking for a non-stressful, convenient way to buy tires, take advantage of Punk's Tires appointment Saturdays. If they don't have the tire you're looking for, they guarantee it to have it the next day. Punk's Tires can take care of all your needs in tires, wheels, wheel alignments, brakes, rotors, minor mechanic work, and more. They'll treat you like family from the second you walk through the door. Come see us in Virgie, Kentucky, or give us a call at 606-639-TIRE. That's 606-639-TIRE. And we are back here on the Startup Morning Show. JJ Pruitt, Bradley Dameron, and Darryl McCoy. This segment is sponsored by our good friends, JJ, at Double Quick. Get it on the double at Double Quick. Double Quick right now. When you think Double Quick, what do you think? First thing pops to your mind?
The 20% discount that you can get with your gas if you register for one of their accounts.
Only JJ would say that about Double Quick, Bradley.
JJ's out here, man. Listen, JJ probably saves more each year than some people
You should
make.
see his phone has 1,000 apps on it. He I don't know that you would ever, anybody would ever say that when you say Double Quick, first thing it pops up is 20% discount. Bradley, what's Double Quick known for?
I mean, I think of the gas, man.
No, Pizza Rose. Pizza Rose. Number one Pizza Rose in the business, and JJ 20% off.
They say if you set up an account, like you can register for a Double Quick account, and you can get 20% cash back on your gas purchases.
And that doesn't carry over to the Pizza Rolls, though, right?
Unfortunately, I don't think it does.
I'm telling you, this dude is more frugal than my grandma was back in '83.
Gotta save that money.
Yeah, JJ. All right, guys. As we're rolling in, let's see if we got anything else on the blind draw here, JJ.
We shall see.
Let's go through here.
Okay.
Talk about the Rats. College football top 25. As we sit here, Alabama, Texas for number one, overtakes Texas for the number one spot with their win over Georgia, and UNLV earns its first ranking in program history.
Yeah, now I know that you always like to talk about stuff like this on, Crunch Time, but yeah, I found this interesting. I mean, I've been watching a lot of Texas highlights with, Arch Manning, and, I think it's going to be really exciting to see like what this postseason is going to look like. I mean, right now, my top, I'm thinking Alabama, I'm thinking Texas, maybe Georgia. What do you guys think for the last two, as far as like when it gets down to the Final Four?
I think that the SEC is right now, dominating. I think, I'm hoping Alabama and Ohio State, at the end of the day, I know a lot of people root for the underdogs, but, I like seeing it just means more when you got the blue bloods of football, in the national championship game. So I'm rooting for Alabama and Ohio State.
Well, we've seen what happened the last summer. They let an underdog into the postseason and into the national championship. What was it, about a year or two ago, whenever Georgia played against who was it? Who was the purple team that they played against in the national championship? Yeah, and they beat them by like 50 or 60.
Yeah, that's what happens, and very rare can a non-SEC Big Ten, every now and then you might get a Pac-10, Pac-12 team that can compete, but
what conference was Florida State in? Like, remember that year they won the national championship? Yeah, that's what I'm.
Yeah, they had Clemson, and guys, man, how has Clemson failed to the wayside?
Jesus.
I mean, listen, Dabo kind of, I think that's kind of on him, right?
Yep, he said he wasn't playing the NIL game, and it's costed.
Well, sometimes you gotta, get up to date with the times. I mean,
I mean, I'll just say this, embrace NIL or go coach Division II. I mean,
yeah, it's okay for you to take a $7 million a year salary, but you don't want
to, I mean, the thing is, the game constantly changes. I think Saban, one of the reasons why he's done is because he's been doing it for a while.
Everybody else can get paid,
was born, and he just said, "I'm out."
Yeah, it's okay for them to get $10, $12 million a year, but if a kid wants to make a little bit off of their name, it's they're not allowed to do that, and you guys want to be bitter over it. I mean, that don't make any sense to me.
I think it's more of and I think this will become easier for coaches. You see teams doing that now. I think too, when it first started, the whole NIL deal, they pretty much just left it to the coaches to figure this out.
it's still the wild, wild west out there, and until they get a government body or something like that over this, it's gonna be hectic for these coaches. You've run some great coaches out, including Nick Saban, Coach K. Reason both of them left said they didn't want to deal with NIL. And listen, I understand that. At the end of the day, these are supposed to be amateur athletes, so I mean.
Well,
I personally don't like it. I think there was a fine line. I think that players shouldn't get in trouble for accepting a dinner from somebody, or being able to take more food than what they're technically allowed. That's what NIL was first supposed to be about. And it really, whenever you go back and look, the thing that really kicked NIL, Bradley, I think Bradley's having an internet issue. There he is.
I think I'm back. Yeah, I think my internet decided to do a little thing for a second.
But I think when we look back at NIL, I think we can all say that Ed O'Bannon is the one that started it.
I mean, but I can.
Do you know who Ed O'Bannon is, JJ?
I don't know, but I'm going back to the NIL thing. Like, it's think about how much money these schools make off of these kids. I mean, I think about Johnny Football and
all right.
Reggie Bush.
But what you got to realize is that school has bills. That school has people that works. Like football. What you don't understand is football pays for the whole athletic department. Like it's not. Every other sport besides football and basketball loses money. There might be a school that like Stanford or something, that might have a rowing team that might make some every now and then, but for the most part, it's football and basketball that supports all these. And then you take a look, the $100,000, $50,000 scholarship, that ain't enough payment.
Well, but my counter to that would be, don't sell these jerseys with the player's number on them. I mean, if you're gonna make any kind of money, like if you're gonna have a jersey for sale that has an athlete's name on the back of it for $60 or $70, and you sell like $10 million worth of those jerseys, I mean, you wouldn't have any of that money if it wasn't for that individual's name on the back of the jersey. So,
I tell you where I agree with you, JJ. I agree 100% that anything involving their name and likeness needs to be compensated for.
But they shouldn't get paid.
But play. I don't like the salary.
Right.
Part of it.
Yeah, I don't like paid for play. That's like the NIL stuff. I don't even mind the school making money off it, because at the end of the day, it's their jersey. They're giving the kids the opportunity. They're there on the university's dime. But don't let the kid get in trouble because he wants to sell some autographs or wants to, autograph his own, uniforms and sell them. That's what the whole purpose should have been about. But instead, it's got to where now it's pay for play.
Right.
And that was always the most ridiculous thing you would hear. Well, I know. Well, I mean, you all know I used to work. I used to work in Division I athletics back in the day, and I know of kids who got in trouble because someone bought them I shouldn't say Happy Meal, but like a value meal from McDonald's or something.
Yep.
I mean, I know firsthand the NCAA saying like, well, Johnny here, who's the second string fullback, was short on cash, and so gave him $5 to get some at McDonald's and wanting to make him ineligible for that. I mean, the NCAA did it to themselves ultimately, though. That's the thing. I don't really have any pity for the NCAA because they're the ones who created this mess. I don't think it's Ed O'Bannon. I think it's the NCAA being so.
Yeah, that's like if you look at the NCAA tournament in basketball every year, they always talk about, well, the NCAA just struck a $2 or $3 billion deal with this network to be able to exclusively stream their stuff. And I'm thinking, that's billions of dollars we're talking. Like, you wouldn't have any of that money if it wasn't for the players.
Shoot, if I'm thinking about it,
but the players wouldn't have the opportunity if it wasn't for the university.
So it's a team effort. It goes both ways.
I agree. I think it's just been the NCAA. Now, Ed O'Bannon, really good basketball player at UCLA.
Yeah, he ended up, whenever he took and sued the video game company, NBA or NCAA basketball.
And I think he's 100% right with that.
Yeah, that's where this all started, and that's what NIL should be. But JJ, you're completely wrong when it comes to the university. They should not be liable at all to pay these kids. They give them room and board. They give them scholarships. They pay for their food. They got the best of trainers. They shouldn't have to go above and beyond to pay these kids to come there and play. At the end of the day, they're already paying them, and they're giving them an education. When is that not enough? And again, people don't take into account what all these kids, or what all these schools have to pay for either. So you're not taking that. I mean, the thing the NIL should be about is allowing kids to make money off their name. It should not be pay for play.
Yeah, I mean, I agree with that. I mean, I think that we misunderstood each other. Like, my thing is just like, I think I was under the impression you were implying that they shouldn't get paid. I mean, as long as
they can get paid, but it needs to be on their own.
Like the endorsement deals and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Like, for example, I see the Double Quick logo up in the the corner of the screen here. It reminds me, Trent Noah, here recently had his signing and stuff. Listen, Trent Noah should get every bit of cash he can off anything like that. You know what I'm saying? I am 100% for that. I do think that when you make it to where it's pay for play, it gets a little tricky.
It is, because then that's where you got things that pop up like Matt Saluka. Matt Saluka, you had Iowa State reaching out saying, if you redshirt this year, we'll give you a sweet NIL deal next year to come here and play. And UNLV right here, their first ever, I think it said top 25 ranking. Is that what it said?
It's what it said.
Yeah, on there. And
oh wow.
So you got teams trying to reach in and scavenge, and ruin other teams' success. And like for instance, if you got Iowa State doing that to Matt Saluka, and then take Marshall's coach offering Ohio State's Tudor Biscuit World. I mean, I know at the end of the day, but it will come to a point where it's not Tudor's Biscuit World that the coach is offering other kids. And, so that's what it's caused, is situations like that. They've got to get that under control. But there's more to the Matt Saluka story. I don't know if you guys seen this, but UNLV, a booster that owns a casino in Nevada, reached out and said that he's a big UNLV fan, and said that he would pay the $100,000 to Matt Saluka that he says UNLV didn't pay him. And the head coach of UNLV said absolutely not. So we do not want that kid in our locker room. So,
wow.
I mean, it's one of those situations for that coach. I mean, if you look at it that way, I mean, it's kind of tough for him, because then if he lets him come back, then you've got all these other players
you
have to deal with. I mean, I've heard Mike Gundy say, like, he said, finally, I don't have to deal with agents. I don't have to do that. I'm ready to coach football when it got to the season.
Yeah.
And what you see right now, and it's a weird thing for college sports, you see schools hiring general managers.
Yeah.
I mean, and I think it's going to become a necessity. That way they can handle that stuff. The coaches can coach, and they'll have like a front office, like a professional sports team, because that's what they are now, is a professional sports team.
That's what needs to be done. I mean, they need somebody to control this. Actually, I'll just be honest with you. I think the best way for this to be done is just to take the university, the coaches, take everything out of it, and let these kids get their own agents, and let them go out and get endorsement deals and stuff like that for them. That would be the best way. And that way everybody's clean. There's no tampering with anything. Nobody can get in trouble. And, that should be the way things are ran. I don't think the university should even stick their nose in it.
Do you think these head coaches are worth as much as they're getting paid, though? Like that would also be my question to you. Like these coaches that are getting paid $6, $7, $8 million a year. I mean, do you think that there should be a cap on how much the head coaches get paid?
No. These head coaches, hell yeah, they should make that much money. They are. Think of being a dad. Now you're trying to be a dad to 70-some kids and trying to keep up with these kids. And then teach them the game of football. Like these head coaches, they don't get no sleep. I mean, I know that sounds like a lot, but when you take in today's world, then you take taxes out of it. Imagine how much is left after that. And, I think these head coaches, and now I don't know about the players. I think some of the contracts in the pros right now are getting ridiculous. But the head coaches in college football, I think they deserve $6-7 million. That ain't much for what they have to go through.
I will say this: college sports, more than professional sports, are coach driven.
Yeah,
because the players will come and go pretty quickly.
Coaches are the stars in college sports,
and so it's a little bit different. In pro sports, people don't go to the NFL to watch Andy Reid.
Yeah,
they go see Patrick Mahomes, and they go see Travis Kelce if they're going to see the Chiefs.
Yeah,
or maybe Taylor Swift if they're into that. But yeah, he's the guy who's built that culture there in Kansas City.
JJ also a Taylor Swift fan.
I don't know one Taylor Swift song. I don't even know.
I know one. I know Shake It Off. That's about it.
I don't know any Taylor Swift songs.
That's about it.
If I really thought hard enough, I could probably tell you a couple. I could tell you what they're about is her ex boyfriends.
Somebody doing her wrong, in her mind, somebody doing her wrong.
I'm just waiting for that I'm waiting for that Travis Kelce track to come somewhere down the line. But
that's gonna be epic.
Yeah, it'll be there.
That's gonna be a fire. Like, listen, that'll be the first Taylor Swift song I actively seek out.
Guys, let's move on to the next topic here as we got, in today's world, are we getting too politically correct? UK for the last 30 years, they've always referred to the week coming up, the first week of October, as Hell Week. Mark Pope says that now it's going to be called Banner Week because that Hell Week just don't sound good. Now,
I would do a vote. I would do a poll and just have everybody vote and see what the public thinks, instead of just having 2 or 3 people that are reporters or higher up that has their opinion on it. I would get the fans vote on what they think.
Yeah.
I mean, look, but from Mark Pope's perspective, he's a really religious guy, and he may be very uncomfortable with that. I don't think it really matters what you call it.
It's Hell Week. It's
whisper behind his back, right?
Yeah, that's it. Yeah, at the end of the day, I don't think anybody will refer to it as Banner Week.
Mm-mm.
That just it ain't got the same ring as Hell Week. I mean, Nolan Richardson, is he gonna call it 40 minutes of banner? I don't know. Back then, the old Arkansas teams, Nolan Richardson, they called him, when you played Arkansas, 40 minutes of hell. I just think we're getting too politically correct in today's world. So
I agree with that 100%. I mean, people are way too sensitive.
I agree.
Lavelle Browning says, tuned in to hear about sports, and I've heard all I heard is politics. Bye-bye. Well, bye-bye, Lavelle. We apologize you tuned in at the wrong time of the show, but at the end of the day,
we talk about everything on this show.
Yeah, politics, religion, talks a little bit about everything. Sports, that's what the Startup Morning Show is. So if you don't like it, we do apologize. Hopefully you stick around. Normally Mondays and Wednesdays are a little more sports related. So Carl Little says, don't think should be paid. They're getting a free education. Agree with you, Whitey. And Maddox Johnson says, what's up? How you doing, Maddox? Good to see you in the comment section. Now, guys, the last thing I seen, I don't know if you guys seen, but interesting, the Fever and the Connecticut Sun played in the playoff game. Well, two players are dating each other from each team. And they're dating each other. And then the other thing, both of them has coaches that are dating each other that live together. Now, how awkward is that going to be in that household? What do you guys do? Do you move out for a week, or how do you handle this?
I would say get a hotel room until the series is over.
I mean, I'd say they're probably used to playing against each other by this point.
But this is the playoffs, so I mean, it's a little more intense than a regular season game.
That's true. It's lose and go home. So imagine.
Or lose and go to the hotel room.
Yeah, there you go. But that's a tough situation. Yeah, I don't know that we've ever seen that where two players and two coaches are dating each other from the same team.
I've never seen that in the NBA.
No, it'd be a little bigger.
There's been some drama in the NBA. I mean, but nothing that crazy.
No, that's definitely an interesting topic. The guys, tomorrow we tune in as Survivor picks tomorrow. Have you guys been thinking about it?
I'm not 100%. Actually, no, I can't. I can't use that pick. I'm not using that pick yet. No, I still got to think about it.
I would say by the time Survivor pick comes around, Bradley, JJ's going to go with Pikeville over Ironton.
Please do that.
Not a chance. Not a chance.
Yeah, we get. We'll also have Coach Hill on, Adam Hill.
Yes.
Oh,
yes.
Okay. Got a special guest tomorrow. Wow.
Yeah, and so he might have an idea for a pick.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, we'll let Coach Hill pick his Survivor pick. So definitely excited for that. Going to be a good show tomorrow, guys. Friday, was Rich out a couple weeks ago. This coming Friday is 14th Region Media Day for basketball. So as it's getting near basketball season, teams are starting to gear up, and we are 14 days away from the start of basketball season. So it gets hectic when basketball and football is going at the same time, guys.
Well, I'm excited.
It's kind of interesting because Kentucky has that little bit of a start on it too. So, but there's that time when you have games especially when you have big playoff games for football, and then you have basketball really getting going too. It's a hectic but fun time.
Yep. Definitely going to be a fun show tomorrow. Make sure you tune in. We will have some more basketball, and just want to leave everybody with this, guys. Make sure that you get out and vote, and remember, when you vote, remember who visits North Carolina and who visits Diddy parties.
Just saying, I'm surprised that they're not showing him holding like dogs and cats and that.
Exactly. That AI is dangerous, guys. And not, we're poking fun here, guys. But listen, no, vote the way you think will best serve you. But at the end of the day, please make sure that you guys do keep the people in your prayers down in North Carolina, Tennessee, Northern Georgia. Tough situation going on down there, guys. And, that they need all the help they can get right now. So make sure, if you got any extra stuff you're not using, go to one of these funds. I know right now Austin Smith at Tug Valley is leading a drive, and the current fire department is going to be taking the stuff down. You can get up with them or get a hold of us, and we will point you in the right direction. Guys, Startup Morning Show. I want to thank you guys for tuning in again, and we will see you tomorrow as we will do our pick'ems, and we will also do our Survivor Series, and Adam Hill